Viewers and subscribers, people out there, track and field fans, welcome again to the Coach's Desk with Coach Minzy. And we have Martin Manley in studio, and we're going to discuss what's happening with Martin Manley, just to find out where he's at and stuff like that. Martin Manley, welcome to Coach's Desk.
It's a pleasure being here, sir.
Yeah, man. Thank you for taking up the opportunity to be with us on Coach's Desk. Now, let's jump right into it, Manley. You made your name under the guidance of one coach, great Donny Hawthorne. And you were rewarded with, of course, a championship title, albeit that would be at the youth level, sorry, over 400 meters, and you ran a sub 46 there. Talk to us about the success of that relationship with Donny Hawthorne.
Well, it was a very great relationship, being the fact that he was able to take me from 49 to 45.89. High praises for the great man Danny Hawthorne. Yeah, it was a very successful season, that 2013 season. Basically everything that the only gold medal I did not achieve that year was at champs, where I came third in that 400 meter. I won at character. I went on to win at World Youths later that year, and also a year later I crashed out at the semi-finals at the 400 meter World Juniors because of, I believe, being jet lagged. I was running the Tuesday and I arrived the Monday. Either the Sunday night, early Sunday night or early Monday morning to run Tuesday. But I redeemed from that poor showing to go on and win the Youth Olympic Championship later on that year.
Yes, so definitely it was a successful stint with Donny Hawthorne there. But Manley, many would say whatever is in the past can't be fixed, right? But
that is true.
There has been some pundits, or history will tell us that youngsters who have in Jamaica, youngsters who have left high school when they have another year of eligibility would have gone on to be lost in the shadows, so to speak. Could you shed some light on that? Did you believe that you actually left school a little bit too early?
Honestly, no. I think my timing was perfect. Some would say this, some would say otherwise. There's always two sides to a story as it pertains to an athlete or athletes who they claim to say that leave school early and go on to either be professional or whether it be going to college early. For an athlete like myself, it is not only what you do on the track, it's mostly what you do off the track. So I wouldn't say I'm not speaking for every athlete, but I just believe that it's a two-way thing, meaning that the coaches can do so much, but the athletes can do much more, whether it be taking care of your body, eating properly, going to sleep early, being disciplined enough to follow certain guidelines that you had to be doing during school. You leave school, you maybe say you're on your own, parents not there to actually guide you properly. So it's basically on a matter of being disciplined going forward.
You went to work with one world championship winner, Bert Cameron, over there at Cameron Blazers. What was it like working with Bert Cameron?
Well, to be honest, the year when I had the chance to win World Youth in 2013, the week before I left, I was doing a training session at stadium with the camp that they had, and Mr. Goldburn was overseeing a program that I was doing, and the energy that I felt while working with Mr. Cameron, it just had a connection, meaning that he was so enthusiastic at what I was doing. He enjoyed watching me run. He enjoyed. He had a. It was like a father-son connection at that point. It was someone that I could, if I wasn't feeling the need, not necessarily really feeling the need, but it's a case where if I never know something or anything, I could contact him and say, hey, sir, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? So he had great advice, and my mentor at the time was Jermaine Gonzalez. So Gonzalez was still there with him. So I believe at that point in time it was a great way for me to further my career.
Awesome. Now, you weren't finding your niche, so to speak, at Cameron Blazers because we did not see any improvement in your times and so forth. For whatever reason, you decided to leave Bert Cameron. Why did you make that move?
I saw opportunity to work with my then training partner Nathan Allen in Florida because I heard that they were leaving Auburn to go on and further training in Florida. So I decided that I spoke with Mr. Cameron and asked him that if it was okay for me to actually, get the feeling of being abroad, having the sense of training with Jamaica's two best quarter milers, and what the experience would be like, and the 2 years that I spent there, trust me, it was a great feeling being amongst those guys. My training ethics changed, my off the track ethics changed, and mentally I became a completely different person than what I was back then.
So it was a mutual understanding between you and Coach Cameron. So there weren't any bad blood there. And of course, you
not at all.
Okay, good. And of course, you came back to work with Nathan Allen, your former training partner at St. Jago High School. So indeed, that was a good look for you. And like you said, it improved you where the off the track and training ethics is concerned.
Yes.
Manley, what happened? Why I understand here at Coachsdesk that you make a switch again from MVP International back to Bert Cameron. Can you walk us through that?
Well, this whole COVID situation, and you don't really know what is going to happen in September coming. So just decided to come back home because it's expensive to live abroad. It is truly expensive.
Okay, good enough. So it was a decision where the finances are concerned. Why you
basically, yeah.
And I'm sure that the relationship that you had or have with Bert Cameron, it would have been a smooth transition back into the program.
Well, to be honest, yes, because I've never disrespected Mr. Cameron. Mr. Cameron is like a father to me. He treats me like a son. And when I was leaving, it was actually a mutual understanding that he literally told me to go to actually see what it is like to be amongst Jamaica's best quarter milers at the time, and to actually see if I could grow as a person. And he encouraged me to leave. And when I told him that I was thinking of coming back, he was saying that he didn't have any problem. He said that he would welcome me with open arms. So it wasn't a case of bad blood or anything.
Wonderful. That sounds good there, man. You're struggling a bit here on local soil, where you were trying your best to regain that form of 2013 when you ran sub 46. I noticed some of your races, you were real frustrated when you crossed that line and you looked over on the clock and you did not see that time that you wanted to run. And for me, that would have been frustrating rather for an athlete of your caliber. Also, I saw some weaknesses in your race. I'm not sure you're gonna elaborate on how that was corrected, but you had a very good 60 meters going around the curve. On the back stretch, you were putting in the work. But in the last 120 of your race, you start to struggle and your head start to rock a bit. Talk to us about how you would have transferred to being a more comfortable finisher in the 400 meters.
Well, I just believe that it was a case when I spoke to Henry Roll. at that point in time, he was saying that I was basically forcing myself to reach to the line. So because I'm forcing myself, I tend to tense up. So I'm basically distributing more energy to get to the line of that last 120. That's why you see the tying up and stuff like that. So I wasn't distributing the energy properly. I wasn't staying relaxed, driving the arms and keeping that power action going. So I was basically doing a lot of madness. So I just believe it is not a case of like physical but technical aspects as to why I've been messing up the last 120 of my races.
And you'd have corrected that?
Yes, it was corrected going into this year. Surely it was corrected a lot. And I was looking forward to opening my season at the Miami Invitational in March, but the NCAA canceled their calendar. So basically, my running season at that point would have been because every day we found out that certain meets that we would have gone to would have been cancelled. The only meet I went to this year was up by Kentucky, where I ran a 4x4 and a 200 meters indoor, where I ran 21.4 in the 200. And our relay team came second and ran like 309, if I'm not telling any lies. I think it was 309. Okay. So it was basically a good season to look forward to with all of the technical work that I put in. But who could know that there would be a thing called COVID-19?
So Manley, you seem to be in high spirits and with great expectations. Definitely, we're looking at a spot on the 400-meter team for 2021 Olympics.
Well, honestly, I have to stay optimistic at anything that I'm doing. From when I was at St. Diego, you could tell that no matter what, I always put my mind to something. And if I decide that I'm going to work towards it and there's no injuries and I'm staying focused, no late night, no being disciplined and working hard, then I would love to see myself on that team going to Tokyo Olympics. May I be running the 400-meter flat or helping the relay squad to receiving a medal?
Okay, you have some good times over 100 meters and 200 meters. Have you ever thought of switching event to any of those two?
Well, to be honest though, sir, my closest friends, being Jahil and Jordan, every day they say to me that we actually try the 200 because they're saying that they see me as a better 200-meter runner. But I just believe that Danny allowed me to fall in love with the 400. So basically, maybe that's the reason why I'm still hell bent on being great at the 400 meter. But who to tell? This upcoming year, I maybe try the 200, and if everything goes well, I'll try to see if I can get a shot at it at the Olympics. So at this moment, I'm not sure. I have not sat with Mr. Cameron and say, Mr. Cameron, this is the plan going forward. No, I'm just getting back into training, coming off a break because of the whole COVID situation. So maybe about September, then we'll actually decide what is going for. But I know Mr. Cameron in love to see me on the forward.
So how is the difference in terms of routine when it comes on to training here at Cameron Blazers as in comparison to training with MVP International?
Oh, well, what I get to understand that how this system abroad, it is totally different from back home. Back home, we believe, especially when you look at from San Diego come up, we believe in the longer distances where we must be strong. But the world has gone to the track and field world has gone where if you don't have speed, it makes no sense to run certain events like 200, 400, and if you're looking at it in the 800 and the 1500. So abroad, it is mostly speed based, where they spend more time getting faster and how long you can maintain. So, speed endurance. So I believe that is where they focus mostly on speed and speed endurance. While out here, we do all three, which is the strength, speed endurance, and they will come back to speed. While you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're
Out there
saying.
we go long and up there they just try to get it short and done quick.
Yeah, I believe the Americans really have the formula when it comes on to 400-meter preparation. But not to say that we don't have some great coaches out here. I think the difference, though, you see, because of the nature of champs itself and the
Mm-hmm.
multi events that athletes would have to do, the long run that the 400-meter athletes put in is as a
Mm-hmm.
result of keeping them over those period of days doing multi events and so forth.
Well,
I mean,
to be honest, I believe that going to going to champs can actually build you for the world, for the professional world of track and field, because the foundation that you build going forward, it'll be 5 to 7 years that you spend in high school. That foundation that you build, it's going to help you a lot professionally because everybody will be used to that. Not saying that the competition is the same, but when you go pro, you only stick to your specific event. But otherwise, when you're at champs, you have to be focusing on the 200, the 400 double, the 4x1, the 4x4. So going pro, you actually cut down. So I believe that that's why they spend most time being specific on just nurturing you for the 400 and the 4x4, or for other persons, whether it be the 200, and the list can go on as well. So it's just, as you said, that it's just the multiple events that we have to do at champs comparing to when we go on to the world stage.
and I'm glad you said that because one Veronica Campbell did say that champs would have molded her in terms of being very competitive on the international scene. So you hit the
And it
nail
is
on
very true.
there. Yeah,
To
man.
be honest, if you can win a medal at champs, you can go at any junior level and win a medal as well, because the competition and the energy that is given at champs, it is second to none, unless it is the Olympics and World Championship. To be, in my opinion, I don't know if anybody will beg to differ, but in my opinion, I believe that champs is right behind the Olympics and World Championship.
That one is arguable, Manley, but we're not going to get into that right now. But
I understand.
I just want to ask you, Manley, because we're out of time. I just want to ask you to share to a youngster out there who wants to take on track and field at the professional level. What are the do's and don'ts that they should adhere to?
Well, coming from someone who has gone through it, and I can share my experience, it is the do's. No, I start with the don'ts first. When don't stay up late. Treat your body. Your body is your biggest investment, and how you treat it is how it will produce for you. So it's like you're watering a plant and you'd like it to bear fruit. You're going to find the necessary things or research like what you're supposed to do to get that plant to bear fruit. So it's just like with your body. So you can't be eating junk food. You can't be staying up late. You can't be in one position for the entire day playing video games. Because I like to play games. So I can tell you from experience that it makes no sense. Do your strength work, and what your coaches give you at the track, that is what they believe is for you. And where the real work is when you're alone and nobody is seeing you when you're doing your abs, when you're doing your band work, doing your planks, all of them things there. The do's now is that stay focused, right? Don't listen. Stay off social media. Do not listen to the pundits or persons that will let you break your confidence. Just stay off social media. Don't you can I'm not saying that you can't read the Glean or the Observer, but those track and field sites and all those persons that are there. Because I have one that every time that I run, no matter what, all if I can get up tomorrow morning and break the record, and he will find a fault to say that his buck-ups are something like that. But don't spend time wasting your energy on persons like that, because no matter what, you're going to have haters. If you're not doing it right, that means that something is wrong if you don't have haters out there, or people that are trying to demotivate you from what you're actually trying to achieve.
All right, well said, Martin Manley. Thank you very much for stopping by over here on the Coach's Desk. And
No
I
problem,
wish
Mr.
you all the best for the 2021 season, which is an Olympic year. So we hope that you'll do well. We trust that you'll do well. We hope that you'll continue to be on this new path of positivity that I picked up that you're on right now, and the change in your whole mental space. Have a
Yes, sir.
wonderful day, my friend, and continue
Yes,
to
sir.
do.
Blessings.
Yeah, man, cool.